is Judy Gula with Artistic Artifacts, and welcome to our Saturday morning Facebook Live. So it's hotter than all get out in Washington, D.C. It might be hotter in some other areas, but we want you to think cool. For us, Christmas has a change of seasons. It's cool. Sometimes we get snow, sometimes we don't, but it's definitely not 90 degrees with humidity. So think cool, think air conditioning, turn that air conditioning up if you have it, and get your mindset for the holidays ready to go. I think actually this might be the first year in my 60 years that I actually might be ahead of the game this time. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. Oh, I did. I just said it out there. I put it in the universe. Anyway, so today what we have for you is just some little quick ornaments. When I started making ornaments with wire and marbles with my son when he was in elementary school, and we've continued to try and have some type of special ornament every holiday season and give it to family and friends. So I'm going to show you a few of the ornaments and then give you some ideas for some of the materials.
Oh, there goes. Sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe you have them already and wasn't quite sure what to do with them, so we're going to lead you through that. One of the favorite things of mine are vintage graphics. And as we have said before, Graphics Fairy is a website. She has amazing graphics. A lot of them are free. Many of them are free. Some of them, there is a charge that's a nominal charge, and she has a great array for all seasons, all events and types of things. So we highly recommend those. Some of the other things that I have are German scrap papers, and this is one that I have printed on EQ Printable. So I scanned it first, put it into my computer as a document, and then I take this printables, and for me, I use them. Yep, there we go. There's a 5 sheet, and then there's a 18 pack, is it? There's a larger and a smaller, so let's see what they are. 25, okay. So I use the 25 pack because I use it all the time. It's a little less expensive per sheet, but for me, it's about ease and quick, because I think the most precious thing we have in our lives is time. So I go for easy. So it has plastic on the back, and it has fabric on the front. Now, why I choose this brand and this style is it's a very fine woven cotton, and the finer the weave, the more detail you get in your picture. I like, if I'm going to use printables fabric, I like a lot of detail. So once it comes out of the printer, you just take it all off. You do not reuse the sheets. And we now have our angels, which have been cut out. And you can see I don't worry about turning them. I'm all about ease and quickness. So I have stitched around. So I have 2 layers. I did a layer of cotton on the back. I took my printable on the front. This actually is with a tap transfer, and you can kind of see, this is a great example. Look at this, didn't even know I had it. So here is transfer artist paper, which we have separate YouTube videos about how to work with that. And this is printing directly onto the cotton fabric. Can you see the difference? What do you see? This is a little shinier. This is a little matte. Okay, great example. So I cut this out. I have a piece of muslin on the back, and I stitch all the way around. Then I slit the back, just the back. That's the thing, you have to make sure you don't slit the front and the back. And then I stuff it. I was told a long time ago by somebody to stuff with cotton balls because they're harder than polyfill. So they help with when you do dolls and you have necks and things. It's much stronger than a polyfill. So I use cotton balls. There's that one. I stuff it, and then I put a Misty Fuse piece of fabric on the back to close it up. And
so do you fuse the angel to the front fabric, or you're stitching right on the fabric?
I'm stitching right on the fabric. So this is a transfer artist one. I have transferred it to a piece of muslin, and then I have cut it back and stitched all the way around. If I would do this, so here's the back. Okay. If I use this, I take this piece of fabric, I create a backing for it, stitch all the way around, slit the back, stuff it. Then I put my little stopgap there. And as you can see, I didn't even, when I took some trim and a vintage piece of ornament, and I sewed it to the back. So I don't have to worry about where things are. Does that make sense? Okay, the other thing that I added, and I forgot to bring them up, there's glitter, but we have ice resin makes a mica, and they make a mica in all kinds of different colors, and I put a little bit of soft gel on the angel's wings. Ooh, lost that thought for a minute. And then I put this mica, the soft gel holds the mica in place, and it's clear so you can still see the wings behind it. So that's a lot of detail on how I do these ornaments. So let me show you a couple more ornaments. Here's one, that's an angel. I'm sure I got her from Graphics Fairy. This is a little bit smaller glitter, but it's done the same way. Printed her on fabric. I have her cut back there. So I stuffed her. So this is another guy that I did. Same technique. All right. Now this is my one that I was supposed to do for the pandemic. And of course, I didn't get it done, so maybe we'll do it this year. I have these Swedish Santas, and they're a little bit larger, so I am thinking I'm gonna make them stand, which means I have to make a bottom. So that's gonna be a little trickier. I'll hopefully show you how that is a little bit later. And then you also have to weight it so it's gonna stand. But these guys, I've had them for a while. My mom's background is Scandinavia, and so I've always kind of wanted to do St. Nicholas.
They go with the panel.
Oh my gosh. Oh, they do, look. So this is our wonderful panel that we have. Mostly our boutique panels are our panels, but we kind of liked this one as whimsy. And we're all about the mushrooms. The little red mushrooms are just got lots of fun. And Chris, this was in our newsletter. So Wednesday, our newsletter, you can either go online and catch it, but we really would love for you to sign up. And when you sign up for our newsletter, you get a 10% off coupon. But in this Wednesday newsletter, it tells you exactly what the fabrics are and how she paired them up. And I love this. I mean, to me, this just sings. It's absolutely wonderful. Panels are really easy. We obviously got the top done, but if I was to quilt this, I would just come in here and do a little bit, and maybe do the leaves. I would do free motion on my Q20, and then maybe I would do some straight lines here and here. Oh, I guess I'm taking this home and quilting it this weekend. So, I mean, again, try to be really easy. And if you're not confident in your free motion, this is a great way to practice. Because you have so much going on, nobody's going to see a little tiny stitch that might not be perfect. But you have some outlines and some patterns to match and to work against.
Somebody's asked if we have the fabric transfers pre-printed for purchase.
What we have is, I have not done that type of business. We always kind of thought maybe we would get there, but we haven't. What is available for purchase is we have our fairy packages, and this is what our Jen did. Jen is our manager of shipping. So we had these doll faces that we use, and she created some really very interesting ornaments from just those fairy packs. And we do still have some in stock. And look at what she did.
They're doll
Doll fragment kits.
Fragment doll kits.
Fragment doll kits. One more cup of coffee, I'll get the words. So in this one, so she had some great ideas. This one's flat. It's used the face from the kit. And this is all hand stitching, so you don't need a sewing machine. And then let me show you her. She's very beautiful too. We have at certain times given out free ephemera downloads. There's usually postcards. I don't know about the angels, but we can see to look at doing that so that you have the ability to print them out on your color printer. The papers that we use are for inkjet only, not laser. So laser is based on heat, inkjet is not. So there's definitely a difference. Most everything we use is for an color inkjet. Okay? All right, so I told you how to use that. Let me just move these guys out of the way here. And these are great to do with kids. So if you have younger kids, elementary school, actually we've even had middle school kids. This is a spool. These are some wooden beads. And then we just cut different sizes of wool circles. So yes, we sell bags of wooden spools. So if you don't have enough at your house, we have extras. And we have a kit that is a miscellaneous wool pack that will give you enough to make multiples of these little trees. And the wire, you can just get that at a hardware store. I think it's like 18 gauge, so it's a little bit thicker and it's easier with a set of pliers to move it. So these are really quick, and then you can actually engage a room full of kids if you want to do that type of project.
A good Thanksgiving project for Christmas.
Yes, there you go. When you have everybody in the house and you need something to work on. We always tried to give gifts that we made. They were at least every holidays for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. We tried to do something in our family that was always made by the kids. That was something that was great. Some other things that we have some really great glamour thread. So this will work with your sewing machine running through the top. And I'm a little intimidated about bobbin work, so I'm always looking for threads that'll work on the top. And these are machine, whereas these are hand, and they're not going to run through the machine. So say I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to some of my my ornaments. I could be using this thread instead of just white thread. You could be using a little bit of thread on maybe one of these guys. So you can, a little sparkle, you can think of some creative ways. We also have our great bead kits. So one of the things, this was one year I made these. So we have a lot of felted wool were sweaters. I went on a binge. I know there's other people that have joined me in this, where I went to the thrift stores and I bought a bunch of wool sweaters. And I took them home and washed them all and felted them all. So if you don't have any, don't go buy them at the thrift store. I have plenty. I have enough to share. So I took a piece. This was a really cool sweater. And I took another piece of kind of decorative fabric, a scrap. Oh, you guys don't have any scraps, do you? No, you can probably have enough to make a star. And then I stitched with a zigzag.
So there's a question about glamour.
Glamour, mm-hmm.
And is it a metallic?
It is a metallic.
It's a rayon with metallic, correct?
Yes, yes. So when you have a metallic thread, there's always a core. Sometimes it's a poly, sometimes it's a rayon. Rayon is shinier than poly, but whenever you have a metallic, always has a core that's stronger than the metallic to help get it through the stitching. So I could take sequins, I could take beads, I could take shiny thread. So then you have a whole different way of looking at it. This was one that I did was flat. And I just took scraps, buttons, zigzag, funky colors. And so there we have those. All right, let's see, we got those, we got these. Oh, these beautiful tassels. These are by Suzanne, who is one of our dear customers. And she made these, again, using wooden spools. She actually painted them and wrapped sari ribbon, silk ribbon on them. So they have some tassel or not a tassel. We have some little Indian trim that was used at the bottom, but you literally can take,
Let me see the Indian trim.
which one? That one. So these is a sari, that is a chunky sari. So this is sari ribbon. This is paper, okay? If you've got some mixed media guys, paper, I would put glue down one side and I would just wrap it. I leave the thread on there because it puts some color behind it, but then you can squish it up and that becomes your base. The other stuff is this chunky. You can see it's got a big twist in it, but we'll just, again, the same idea. Gives you lots and lots of texture there. So those are the ones that I'm gonna probably go chunky. But then you have these ribbons that'll work the same way, silk ribbons. So this is the chunky, is on the website as well. And then we have a great array of ribbon. We had a customer come in the store recently and she was came to look for ribbons, and she's, we're always like, oh, how did you find us? What was it that brought you to us? Well, she told us that we came up in the top 10 best places to buy ribbon in the Washington metropolitan area. You should see our ribbon wall. It's wonderful. So we have lots of velvet, some patterns. This is all silk. We have lots and lots of silk ribbon. So you even have different sizes, different lengths. But this is what the tassel is on here, is a 1/4 inch one. So we have lots of those as well. But just leave the thread on there. It really doesn't matter. All right. How are we doing so far? Any questions? Doing all right? Okay, I did do a demo about my bowls. That is now up on YouTube, about how to make our fabric bowls. So this one you saw there. This is to Christmas here. And they are reversible. So is it a holiday gift that they use during the holiday? So you just flip it there. And if you want details on this, go to our YouTube, Artistic Artifacts YouTube channel. Now this was the one that I didn't finish, and I wanted to show you what I did. So this is one that can kind of be left out all year round. And I used the chunky spun Sari ribbon on the edges, and I just zigzagged it. Okay, and again, this one, so now we have, can be reversible. All right, now, of course, we have fabrics that we think would make some great uses. So I told you about the pack. This is multi-pack. We also have Suspargo. So what would be really fun, and we know that this works, I'm working on a project so I'll show you, is that you can take one of our absolutely awesome wood blocks, you can put it with a Memento Luxe pad, or you could use some of the acrylic paint, and you can stamp it onto the felt. And I am just, this partridge in a pear tree, I want this so much. You can stamp it and then you can stitch it. So we have painter's threads, we have wonderful threads, we have all kinds of threads that you work really wonderful with the wool that we have. The other option is that we have painter's threads hand-dyed linens. So you can use those as your base as well, and you've already got some pattern and texture to them. But these absolute fabulous wood blocks, you can print on wool. Promise you that it will give you a pattern. We've had many people coming into the store about, what can I use? I don't want it real heavy, I just want a pattern. So to stamp the wood block so I can hand stitch it. It's great for hand stitching. It gives you, you don't have to come up with something off the top of your head. So I think I've covered it. Oh, look at this. This is a painter's thread. This is such a fun little, this is called single loop. Can you see it? And that can be used as a hanger. You can be stitching it around the side. This has a lot of texture. And what's that other one? The trim?
Snail trim.
Snail trim, but then the hairy trim.
The silk.
Silk, yes. So there's some really great products that add some texture to them that are created by painter's threads.
This is a good colorway.
Yeah.
The Matisse.
Sorry. You had something in your hair.
I did? Oh,
You're
sorry. Besides my hair? Okay, and then I think we talked about the EQ printables. We do have a previous one on transfer artist paper. Again, check our YouTube channel. We've definitely done some demos. We've definitely walked you through how to use these products. Okay, any other questions? Everybody ready to make some little ornaments? You know, I can leave shiny things up all the time. I have 2 huge bulletin boards in my office that are kind of my creative inspiration boards. Somebody sends us a thank you note. Someone sends us a sample. Someone sends us a gift. And we're just so very grateful that our customers think of us that way. And they're all on my inspiration board. So there's lots of things there.
Someone commented on your vintage quilt behind.
Yes. My mom and I would have to say my mom more than I, have a wonderful collection of vintage quilts. She's always wanted red and white. Red is a very special color in our family. There's a long history of why we always have red and why there's red in the Artistic Artifacts logo. So it's very, very important. But it is a beautiful quilt. I once talked to Mary Kerr, who does appraisals for quilts, and you can tell we did not wash it. There are some stains. So her instructions are, when you have an old vintage quilt that's in really relatively good shape from this, and you're itching to wash it, she says go lay down until you don't want to wash it, because that sometimes can ruin the value of them. But So this one is beautiful red and white, absolutely gorgeous hand stitching. And we'll try to show you some more of the collection as we continue to do this. You can tell we kind of moved our backdrop to a different part of the building. We have a yard sale coming up next Saturday, 8 a.m. for those of you who are local. And we have some new artwork in the garden that was created by my niece, Layla. So we'll show you some of that and show you the yard sale. And we're gonna have some surprise boxes from the yard sale fabrics. So we do have lots and lots of quilting fabrics that will be sold by the pound. So we're gonna put a couple of color-coded surprise boxes ready for you. So those will be next Saturday. Then on the 19th, we have our Facebook Live treasure boxes, more treasure boxes. Let me tell you, these are really getting fun to put together. I am finding all kinds of great stuff from my studio to include into these boxes. And we also have a new shipment of canthas from India, so those we will be showing you as well. Lots going on every Saturday at 9:30. Join us on Artistic Artifacts Creative Minds on Facebook. Follow us, like us, comment, Instagram. We all have very good showing on Instagram and Pinterest. So lots of ways to find us, lots of ways to be part of our community, even if you're not living in the metro area.
One question.
Yes.
Is there a name for the pattern of the quilt?
Of the old quilt?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure there is. So Kyle, take a close look. This is on a point, so you can get a detail. We'll put a detail shot up on Facebook also. So I know some of you guys can figure this out, but it is definitely on point. All right? Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic day, and we look forward to seeing you.